show you how to properly maintain and inspect your vehicle. But instead of working on this Jeep, we thought it'd be more appropriate to work on this Ford.
What's that supposed to mean?
It's a Ford.
Get her done!
Jeep Cherokee Classic.
What was that?
If it's right here, you get some quick access for some nice trucker action.
You guys ready to put the oil in? Oh no! Welcome to this week's episode of Weekend Mechanic.
The lifeblood of every engine is engine oil, so you gotta make sure you have plenty of it.
First thing you have to do to check your engine oil is you're gonna have to locate your dipstick. On my truck it's on the left side, and it's gonna say engine oil on it, or it's just gonna be a yellow handle. Pull it out and wipe it down. The second time you're gonna pull your dipstick out, and you're gonna just look at it and make sure the oil is between the add and fill lines.
Another good thing to keep an eye on is your belt. You gotta make sure it doesn't have any cracks, and you gotta make sure it's nice and tight. In order to make sure it's nice and tight, you just gotta come in somewhere and push on it. It should only have about a 1/4 inch of movement. In this case, this belt is nice and new and nice and tight. Good to go.
The next thing we're going to check is the radiator coolant and the wash fluid. Since they're right next to each other, just pop the top. On your antifreeze, you just want to make sure it's colored correctly and not brown, because that means something's rusty. And wash fluid, just make sure it's full.
Another good thing to check and keep an eye on is your trans fluid. You just gotta find where the trans fluid plug is. Usually it says trans fluid. You just gotta pull it out. Take a good look at it. Make sure it doesn't look brown. It should be red. You gotta smell it. Make sure it's not burnt. Now, in order to check the level on your trans fluid, you should have it up the operating temperature, and the engine should be on, and the transmission should be in neutral. On this vehicle, the trans fluid is located right behind the coil pack.
The next thing we want to check is your brake fluid levels. Usually the master cylinder is located above the steering column on the left side of the vehicle. Just pull the cap off, look in it, and make sure the fluid level is right. The next thing you're going to need to check on your vehicle is the air filter. Now, this Explorer has an aftermarket intake, which helps it breathe better and makes it sound a little bit better. And you just pretty much look at it, make sure there's no dirt in it. On a normal vehicle, it's going to have a box, and you're going to have to pull the box apart and check the air filter that way.
Since this has aftermarket intake, we're going to come take a look at the Jeep, see what a stock one looks like. On a stock vehicle, usually there's a big air box where the air filter sits in. So to take a look at your air filter, you're just going to find all the clips like this, pull them off, then open up the air box, take a look at your filter. This one's nice and clean.
Next thing we're going to be checking is the air pressure. Now you're going to need either a tool like this, which fills the tire with air and shows you the pressure at the same time, or a separate pressure gauge and a separate tire filler nozzle for your compressor. Now we're going to check the air pressure. Obviously take the cap off, because you can't put air in the tire with the cap on. And you're going to connect up the nozzle. So right now, obviously the tire is very low. It's at 22 psi or 24, I think. It's got a slow leak in it. It's supposed to be at 35.
Another thing to check on your tires is to make sure there's no cracks in the sidewall, and to check the tread depth. If you don't have a depth gauge, what you can do is take a penny and point it in at the tire like this, and just stick it in between the treads. And you shouldn't see the top of the Lincoln's head.
The next thing we're going to do is have a buddy check our brake lights and our blinkers. Well, this vehicle's all ready to go. Thanks for watching Weekend Mechanic.
Join us again next week on the Weekend Mechanic.